The wooden leg. I was 8, maybe 9 years old, when me and the other kids from Wellstone used to make fun of an old man who lived alone in a wooden cabin just up the hill. He had come into the town a while back, but no one really knew his story. He mostly kept to himself, visiting the store once a week or so, and that was often enough for our small town's folks who didn't need much reason to hate strangers. And by the looks of him, Joe was that kind of stranger that no one wants around at a Sunday barbecue. You see, old Joe had a wooden leg. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there was something really disturbing in the way he was limping it, shifting his weight in the most unnatural way. Each step felt like he was trying to stab the ground. Tack, tack, tack. Enough for every small child to stare and ask their moms what's wrong with that man. Moms would smile embarrassed while Joe was trying to smile back with his crooked teeth, occasionally rolling up the pant leg and knocking on his wood to provide an answer. My father said he probably had lost his leg in the war as a soldier. But now, thinking about it, he couldn't have been more than 10 when the war ended. Others said he had been a lumber worker, and most likely he had an accident. Happened quite often at the time. But since Joe didn't shed any light on the matter, soon people dropped it and moved on with their lives. Anyways, as I said, me and the boys didn't miss a chance to follow him around and call after him from a safe distance, of course. "Pegleg Joe, come on and catch us, Pegleg Joe." Like in that silly song about the pirate who lost his leg chasing a much younger gal. Sometimes, when we got too close, he would turn and reach at us, like grabbing, taking a few steps. Then he would just stare for a few moments and finally give us the creepy sad smile, knock on his wood and be back on his way. A few months has passed and we finally grew tired of chasing Pegleg Joe. In fact, he hardly came down to town anymore, not that anyone missed him. We moved on to more exciting matters like stealing from Miss Ann's bakery or catching Mr. Jefferson chickens. Life went on as usual, and the summer passed without much going on. It was around mid-September when things started to get weird. First it was Emily who went missing. I knew her a bit, skinny, blonde, younger than us. Didn't hang out with our group much though. But we were eager to join the search along with the whole town, roaming the woods over and over. There was police, with dogs and all. There was even a team of divers searching the lake. Nothing, no trace. After 2 weeks or so, she was declared dead, to the despair of her parents, who kept on searching with a few of their neighbors. On our side, we continued the investigation against the better judgment of our parents, who were more than worried. Despite the efforts again, nothing was found. But this was far from over. By the end of November, 2 more kids had gone missing. Again, the woods had been searched, with no piece of evidence to be found. The days got colder and the town went quiet as everyone kept to themselves. Most of those days I was sitting by my window, staring at the empty street. School closed and we were not longer allowed to play outside. There were rumors of bears or wild animals, but no one saw any. They said a coyote can easily grab a small child, eat them, and bury their remains for the winter. It wasn't a very pleasant thought to go to sleep with. It was late in the afternoon that day when Carl knocked on my window. Quite a scare he gave me. "What's wrong with you?" I rushed him. "Wandering in the streets at this hour? You want to get in trouble or what?" "Tony, just get your coat," he said. "Billy knows where the lost children are. We all meet at the barn, now." We sneaked past the yards, carefully to avoid any neighbors, and finally reached the old abandoned barn where we used to have our headquarters. Little Billy and Bo were there already. "Couldn't get Jimmy," reported Carl. "Martha, she's too scared, but doesn't matter. The four of us can take him." "Take who?" I asked, worried. "What's going on, guys?" "Come on, Billy. Tell them what you saw," urged Bo. "Oh, well," started Billy. I was with my ma down the corner at Debbie's to get some food. See, Ma says I have to get out once a day or I get the asthma. My cousin has to use his inhaler every time he..." "Fuck the inhaler, Billy. Just tell them about the old man." Yeah, it was him. Bagleg Joe. He was there at the store. I thought he's gonna tell Mom about last time, but he just winked at me and went down to knock on his wood. That's when I saw in his bag there was a pair of red sandals. "A pair of sandals," jumped Bo. "You hear that? What would the like of him be doing with that? Think about it." "Maybe he has a niece?" asked Billy. "Yeah, a niece, sure. How about 3 kids locked up in his basement? No food, no water for days. I say we go now, before he gets home. We solve this today. Be the heroes, Billy, you get it? Then we bring the whole police force down on him." "And the military," approved Billy in the end. "With guns and tanks." "Yeah, Billy, with guns and tanks." I have no idea how that stupid plan seems so attractive to us. We rushed through the woods to approach from the back, but by the time we reached the old man's cabin, the night had fallen. The sky was clouded, but the moon broke through from time to time, enough to cast some long and uneasy shadows through the forest. The house was engulfed in darkness. "Maybe he didn't get home yet," whispered Carl. The tall trees around us rustled strangely as the cold wind whistled through their twisted branches. We listened quietly for a while. No other sounds. "Of course he didn't," confirmed Bo, getting a grip of himself. "Best to approach from 2 sides. You two get in from the back. Me from the front. Billy, you guard at the gate. Stay hidden in those bushes. If you see him coming, you call us. You hear me?" We crawled through the tall grass, carefully up the fence. Slowly got up to look through the half-open window. Eyes slowly adapted. No movement inside. I could only hear Carl's erratic breath behind me. Nothing else. "Let's get in," I said. The room was empty. No carpets, no bed, nothing. An old wooden chair in a corner facing the wall. There was a damp, moldy smell, and a thick layer of dust covered the wooden floor. The boards squeaked softly with every step. "Take off your shoes," I whispered. We advanced slowly, barefooted, as quietly as we could. It took forever to reach the door. From there, down the dark empty hallway. Another room on the left, a small pantry with no doors on the right, both completely empty too. "What's wrong with this house?" said Carl softly. This doesn't look good. Not good at all. I felt his hand shaking on my shoulder. Nobody's living here. We should go back. Be quiet. We need to check the basement first, I whispered. Hold on to me and be silent. We finally got to the main room. A few shelves on the wall, a big table in the middle. Further to the back, kitchen, almost empty. Through the dirty windows I could see outside to the front yard. Nobody. Where the hell is Bo? He was supposed to be in here already. Carl pulled the lighter out of his pocket, and in the dim light I saw him pointing a finger. Look, he said with a tremble in his voice. Oh, on the table. He got close. A big paper bag with Debbie's text printed on the side, wide open. It's the bag from the store, murmured Carl, terrified. How did it get here, Tony? How? I felt my feet getting cold. I looked inside. Just a few cans of beans. No sandals. He must have got here before us, whined Carl. He's in the house, you understand? We have to go now. Shut up. I grabbed him by the shoulder, trying to keep it all together. He's not in the house. There's nobody here, see? No sandals either. Who knows what the hell Billy saw? That little whiner always seeing things. We need to find Bo. Yeah, we check the rest of the house and we go. We searched the kitchen and found only one more door. I slowly turned the knob. It opened to a narrow set of stairs, descending further into the darkness. Oh no, I'm not getting in there, started Carl, stepping back. I'm leaving now, and the hell with this stupid thing. Don't be an idiot, I snapped at him. Give me the lighter and wait here for me. There, hold my shoes too. I'll have a quick look, and we'll be out in no time. Just let me know if Billy calls. I went down the stairs, slowly, keeping the light up to see where I was stepping. At the end, a tight door with no handle. Was it locked? I looked up for Carl, but it was too dark to see him. I pushed it. Stuck, perhaps. I bumped it with my shoulder. Again, harder this time. It almost gave in. I put my whole body into it. A loud crack and the door burst open. I came down hard on the cold floor, dropping the light. Pitch black. A strong sour smell. Mold, rotten food, or who knows what. I groped around for the lighter. Finally. The flickering flame revealed a long cellar with blackened walls coarsely plastered. Some rags scattered on the floor, and pieces of old furniture. A small table on the side with dirty dishes. Definitely someone was living in here. I started walking toward the back of the room. An old bed with soiled linens. That awful smell. I brought the light closer. Is that blood? At that moment, the top door closed with a loud thud. What the hell, Carl? I turned, started. A dim light was coming down the stairs. Brighter and brighter. Steps. Tack, tack, tack. Rose. I only got time to hide down inside an old cupboard, holding the sliding door with terror. My despair, through the narrow opening, I saw Joe limping slowly towards me. So close now, I was feeling his heavy breath. His wooden leg just in front of me. Did he see me? What was he waiting for? He started unpacking from the bag, slamming the metal cans one by one on the counter above me. With each loud drop, I was losing myself more and more. I felt like gasping for air. I thought to rush out, run by him, escape this damn trap. Couldn't find the power. I waited still, without a sound, without a breath. He finally stopped and walked away from the cupboard. He put his candle on the stand next to the bed and sat down. He stood like that for a long time, staring down at his legs. In the end, he reached under the bed and got out a long package, wrapped in a dirty cloth, stained with blood. He placed it on the bed next to him, his eye glittering with excitement. What was happening? What was this nightmare? He slowly started to unwrap the straps from his wooden leg. Then with a twist, he pulled it off and placed it next to the bed. He watched his livid stump for a moment, then turned to the package. Paralyzed with fear, I watched him carefully unwrapping the cloth, revealing 3 small legs, 3 right child legs, each of them chopped off a few inches above the knee. Bloody stumps with skin badly sewed around the white bone, putrid, oozing, smelling of rot. I felt disgust, sick, almost threw up at this horrible sight, yet I couldn't manage to take my eyes off it. His sick fascination for the 3 little pieces of meat that once belonged to 3 children who used to run, jump, play. I looked down to my feet and slowly moved my toes, thinking about how they look wrapped in that cloth next to the other 3. Emily, Justin, Alan, and Tony. Disturbing thought gave me a strange feeling of belonging. When you're part of a set, a complete collection. I raised my eyes to see more of this abomination. Joe inspected the little legs one by one and finally selected one. Was it Emily's? Was it mine? They all looked the same, and yet so different. He slowly smelled the oozing stump. When I hideout, I could feel the stench deep in my nostrils. He got it close to his lips and softly kissed the bare bone. The taste. How did it taste? He started to lick the putrid flesh, to suck the blood frenetically, to wipe it clean with his tongue. After a few minutes, he stopped with satisfaction. He tied the leather straps around it and locked it in place on his old stump. Next to the other gun leg, the new one looked intriguing, fresh, even beautiful. He admired his construction for a long while as I watched from my own plane. So alive. Did the hose just move? It couldn't be. Before I could tell, the old man reached in his pocket and produced a small red sandal. He wiped it with a cloth and carefully put it on his new little foot. Then, closing his eyes, he laid back on the bed. I watched him sleeping long after the candle ran out. I don't know when or how I got up. I suppose I sneaked past him and exited the way I came. Not sure how I got home either. The next day, I went to see my friends, but none of them got there. Police started another investigation to find them, but for some reason I never dared to tell them about the old Bagleg Joe. Secret I kept with me for a long, long time. There were nights when I dreamt about it. There were days when I wondered if it was all just a dream. Over the years, the image of the little girl's leg strapped to the old man's thumb, it haunted me, and I never felt complete anymore. Not until today, when I finally started my collection.